Well, what's going on, everybody? It's Spencer Ostrowski. It's Spencer Ostrowski with Arcade Culture. I always mess up delivering sports, and I always mess up Arcade Culture. Every time, it never fails. If you guys go back and look at the videos, I promise you, I've said it weirdly every time. I just usually roll through it, but this time I mess up too bad.
It's Kevin Kelly at Arcade Culture.
That's
here.
right. Absolutely.
What are we doing today, Spence?
We're doing one of the cool kids are doing it. We're gonna get in on the business.
We're here like a week and a half late. We're doing tier lists today.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't keep up with trends. That's Kevin's job. I just kind of do whatever. It sounds fun. That's why I play all these weird fucking games.
So what we're doing today is
a Call of Duty tier list.
Yes, we're
Nice.
tiering
Forgot.
the Call of Duty games. So let me just slide my laptop.
So
over
we're gonna
here.
pull ours up at the same exact time. Review the results.
All right, ready?
I think they're gonna be pretty
We're gonna
similar.
reveal in 3, 2,
Oh, God.
1.
Boom.
All right, so
Okay. All right. We'll start with
Let's-
trash. We'll start with trash tier.
all right, so you put Ghosts and you put World War II in the trash.
Right. Yeah, I remember just didn't have a good time with Ghost. The story I actually remember being okay. I was like kind
I
of.
watched the ending to Ghost earlier today, and actually I'm like, oh yeah, it was a
The
pretty
story's
crazy
pretty
twist.
cool. Yeah, like
'Cause It pretty neatly sets up a sequel too. But yeah, the multiplayer, I will always appreciate Ghosts for one thing, and that's introducing the slide function over the dolphin dive function.
Yeah, I mean, I
because it's
guess
so much better.
I can see putting it in C, but again, I just didn't like any of the maps or anything, so it kind of ruined the whole thing for me.
Yeah, so I put Ghosts in C. I think just for that reason, I did get some enjoyment out of it, but just overall as a game, I just didn't really appreciate. I didn't like the cut of its jib overall. I think
The cut of its jib.
Yeah,
you
I
said?
didn't really like the cut of Ghost's jib.
What does that mean?
It's a
Short version of jive.
it's a sailing term.
Do people say that?
Yes.
I know
That,
jive.
like, it's like an older term. It's like, hey, Buster, I don't like the cut of your jib.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
I also we
yeah.
have World War II in there.
I have COD Ghosts in tier C. We both have World War II in the trash tier because it is a trash game.
It's the game we spent the least. I put it in trash. It's the game. It's on this list. It's the game I spent the least amount of time with.
So we did play this game. You and I
Yeah.
you and I play COD.
We picked it up on
almost
the
in-
weekend at Redbox.
Yeah, in conjunction, and then we played it, and then we ended up picking like game flying it or something. Picked it up. We played it for 2-3 weeks, and then never ever touched it.
Yeah,
again.
it just introduced this weird cryptic like menu system where you had to go around a base. It was really uninteresting. It wasn't a good idea.
It wasn't even uninteresting. Like,
Black Ops 4
UI,
falls victim to the weird UI thing as well to me.
The UI is just
But
shit.
it's absolutely just it ruins the experience for you, really.
And there's just like the maps I wasn't a huge fan of. The weapon customization I wasn't a huge fan of. I like having a lot of choices, but without being overcomplicated. And I think World War II is like it's maybe like sets the precedent for overcomplicating shit.
Yeah, and
Because
the loot
there's
boxes
different-
too.
there's
They were
different-
fell victim to that as
Exactly.
well.
There's different variants of weapons. There are different variants of attachments, and it's just like a lot of the stuff you get from the loot boxes. Too much going on. I hated it. The map design was really just lazy. I felt like just
Right.
basically all 3-lane maps that just you can just hoard kills on if you're decent with your shot, and it's just overall a really just a passable game and just not good overall. I didn't even play the campaign for this game. It's like the first time a COD game has had a campaign that I just completely skipped over. I skipped over the Black Ops 3 campaign. We'll talk about that.
Dipped into it. It's too much. Well, actually, I will say that's not true. I think I played the entire World War II. It didn't feel like World War II to me. It felt like a very like out of place. Like you were in World War II, but it didn't feel like you were actually in like the army, which is a problem because that's what Call of Duty is about.
So we'll move on to our C tiers.
C tier. It's
Because
essentially
you'll because there are ones in your C tiers that are in my trash tier, but we do have some ones that are both in the C tier.
Yeah. So we'll start with Infinite Warfare because you have it in trash. I have it in C. I gave it a little bit above trash because I like the boldness of trying at least to go in a different direction with jetpacks. It ended up being a little too much, but I remember I had a time where I played it for a little bit. If that's worth
Infinite Warfare.
Yeah.
Do you remember which one Infinite Warfare is? Can you distinguish it from Advanced Warfare?
That's the one that came with Call of Duty 4.
Yes.
So that makes it not trash inherently.
See,
Because it came with
that's
a
the
better
thing.
game.
That's
Yeah.
the thing.
No, I
this
really
game,
can't.
This game came with COD 4 remastered, and that's the only thing I played.
I played a little bit of the story mode. It got too crazy.
It was like you're in
spaceships
space
stuff, yeah.
and like no,
It wasn't
so
interesting space either, which was the problem.
it was too much of a departure from what I thought makes Call of Duty good. It's just being a like an arena shooter, and I think that was like. I think this kind of like indicated that genre overall was like starting to suffer, and they were starting to try and move away from like what inherently makes that genre like what it is. And I think it set a really bad precedent. It's when I kind of just immediately just started to lose interest in Call of Duty overall.
Yeah, it was about as far away from the original product as you could.
I'll say among
get.
every COD on this list, I played Infinite Warfare the absolute least.
I played World War II the least. I played because I had gotten Infinity Warfare the night of because I wanted to play Call of Duty 4, but I ended up playing Infinite Warfare a little bit. It was alright. It belongs in C tier for sure.
So I had it in the trash tier just because I felt like it just felt disrespectful to me that they released this game.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
So let's move on to Advanced Warfare. I also have it in the trash tier.
It between.
Exactly.
I just remember that the jumping, the whole jetpack mechanic was like just kind of cool, but not really.
It just marked something that was just not good.
It's
overall.
not trash, but it wasn't great either. It was just what it was.
I'll say that it's in that trash tier because it's almost completely indistinguishable from Infinite Warfare to me. The campaign was kind of interesting for like parts of it, but then just it kind of tails off towards the end. It's not like any of like the Modern Warfare, any of the Black Ops campaigns. As far as reasoning goes, like the reasoning that I think we both have it in their respective tiers is because they're indistinguishable from another Infinite Warfare and Advanced Warfare.
Yeah.
So we'll move on to I have Black Ops we both have Black Ops 3 in C tier. You want to explain yourself?
I don't even remember that game.
I
remember
playing...
we played it a little bit, but I remember I didn't hate it. It's just like it was so like not memorable to me. I was like, I'm not gonna put it in trash. But it was not.
That's almost exactly why I put it in this because. It's because it fully settles into this like, oh, we're double jumping and shit and doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I respect it because it was made by Treyarch, and I trust Treyarch as the developer of Call of Duty games, and I gave it that respect because it was Treyarch. But overall, I think the being pigeonholed in the double jumping era of Call of Duty, I think hurt them, in the long run as far as like this game's longevity goes, because I think Black Ops 4 is leaps and bounds better than it.
Right, obviously. So we'll go to B tier. That's where we differentiate ourselves.
No, we're going to talk about Modern Warfare 3.
Oh, yeah. So, it just... So, Call of Duty 4 is my favorite game of all time.
Yes.
I thought Modern Warfare 2 was a little bit of a step down. I know you disagree. We'll talk about that. But then Modern Warfare 4, it just felt like such a deviation. The story mode wasn't nearly as good as the first two. They kind of just went too far with it, and it didn't feel... It was the first game that didn't feel like a good Call of Duty game to me.
I felt like disrespected by this game.
Yeah, it was just too much.
They charged me $60 for what is essentially a DLC bonus on top of Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, I remember that was the whole
engine
big thing with
feels almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
The gameplay feels exactly the same. And I think like one thing that like always sticks out to me as far as just like watching anything, movies, video games, any kind of like visual media, is like colors. And this is gray and dull, and like I don't enjoy that. And and there's an avenue for things to be gray and dull if like they are, supplementary in other areas, and this one just isn't as far as gameplay. And I didn't appreciate that they thought that they could do this to us.
Yeah, it didn't live up to what it could have been, because everyone was just so excited for this lineage of Call of Duty games, the Modern Warfare games.
Oh, so I'm now taking a look at your B and A tiers, and I have some questions.
Yeah, how does it feel to be wrong? Is that
interesting? So you have the very first Black Ops game in B tier. Explain yourself. What's your deal?
It just didn't feel like much to me. I remember I tried really hard to play it because it was coming out between Modern Warfares, and it didn't wow me. I hated the fucking story mode. I thought it was mega shit, not fun.
Wow,
it's not fun.
I love the Black Ops campaign.
It's shit.
It's so good.
No,
what's bad about it?
Who cares about playing something that already happened? Like, what the fuck?
You have World War. You have World at War in your S tier. What are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about the whole story was people's memories. I don't give a fuck about what someone did in the past. I want to know what's going on now. Everything only mattered until the end of the game, and like that. Even that was kind of a joke.
Was a huge payoff.
Like, it was a fucking shit payoff, dude. You already know who's gonna live and die because you're with the people who
putting
survived.
You're putting the pieces together, man.
Oh, it's so fucking like.
Tell me what the numbers
I was
mean.
so uninterested, dude.
The numbers, Spencer. Tell me what they mean.
I was totally checked out, man. Like,
No,
I was,
I love the Black Ops 1. I have it in my fucking S tier. I love, like, as far as comes to, yes, it's in my S tier. I love that game so much.
The multiplayer was pretty underwhelming to me too. I couldn't connect with like a lot of the weapons and stuff like that.
I thought it was a banner year for COD as far as customization, because it was like the first time you could go in and customize the look of your character to a degree with like the face paints and all the different camos.
Yeah, it's not a bad game to me. It's just
I thought the gameplay was supplementary as far as like balancing out the game. Like it was the first Call of Duty game that I felt like I was objectively good at. Like I was shit at like pretty much every COD game before this, but I still enjoyed it. But I felt like I was actually good at this game. So I don't know.
It was just all right.
I really, and then it introduces like the party games, like the wager matches, the gun games, the one in the chambers. Those are like some of my favorite game modes in the history of Call of Duty.
Yeah, I didn't play too much of that.
Well, you end up playing it in what we both agree is a double S tier game in Black Ops 2, but we'll get to that in a second.
Well, that's what we played together, and I didn't play with anyone else but you, basically.
So, I have, in my B tier, I have Black Ops 4.
It's fucking...
You in your B tier, you have Black Ops. I want to explain that why I have Black Ops 4 in my B tier.
Okay.
Because I like this game.
Yeah.
We're playing it a lot right now. We play it almost every single day for at least a couple hours a day. And I do like Black Ops 4. I think gameplay-wise, I think it's solid. I think there was genuine thought put into this game as far as the multiplayer goes and like how to switch up. Like it builds off the one thing that I thought was really good in Black Ops 3, which was the specialists. And
it's pretty cool. I do like it.
I really do like the specialists, especially in a climate where Overwatch is dominating like the first person shooter genre. I think having unique specialists that really do alter the game in different ways, I think that was a really good move for Activision this time around with this Black Ops title specifically. And what keeps it from being in the upper tiers for me is just like the further abandoning of the formula, because there's no campaign when there very much should be a campaign.
Yeah, campaigns are always fun.
And
it used to be a tradition for me, actually. I would buy the game the night of and beat the game through. Like, I would beat the campaign all night. I used to do that.
Like, yeah, however many hours it would usually take you the entire, like, till the sun came up the next morning.
Right, yeah.
But then, like,
it's kind of sad.
Completely abandoning that, like, it made me out on this game in the earlier parts. Like, we just now picked the game back up. We're playing it, like, for real now.
Right.
But that's what, like, turned me off into it, because if you weren't down with the multiplayer in the beginning parts of this game, like, there's nothing there for you, because I'm not going to play Blackout. Like, I refuse to play Battle Royale games.
I'll tell you what keeps this from being higher up, because I think it's really close.
Okay.
Well, first, I do like the fact that the better weapons are unlocked later in the levels, so there is some sort of, like, motivation to get better or to level up, because once you get the Maddox...
I appreciate that, yeah.
And also, I love using pistols in Call of Duty games, and the best pistols unlock last, so it works for me. But what keeps this thing from being S tier, because I think it could be close, the original maps are shit. They're not good. They're not fun.
The best maps in Black Ops 4 are the maps that are from previous Black Ops
That's
games.
A big problem. Another problem, kill streaks are way too powerful. It's a major problem. This game over rewards players for getting a good start, and it essentially makes it impossible to come back in any game. A lot of games are lopsided, which is a major problem.
And when we say that, like, because I agree with you, when we say that, we mean, like, I think it's more lopsided, like, and overpowered than Modern Warfare 2.
It's a really big problem.
Because I could still enjoy myself to a degree. It's much easier to get rid of, like, there's much more, because no one runs launchers anymore. Like, there's no incentive to run launchers. Right. There was a moderate incentive to run launchers in Modern Warfare 2, which was the last game where, you know, people really had these, like, overpowered kill streaks. And I think even then, it was still manageable to play a game.
It was fine. Sometimes you completely, like, can't play a game in Black Ops 4.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes
you can be completely taken out of the game.
You'll play, like, the first half of a domination game, and a guy will get a strike team or a sniper's nest, and it's just like, okay, we're not going to be able to move.
Yeah, someone gets a strike team and also a sniper's nest.
Yeah, you can't move.
And then if, like, God forbid, like, they have, like, the dog class, and the dog starts running around, like,
So this is just us
yeah.
bitching about what we don't
Not
like
really.
about Black Ops
It
4
just
right
becomes too much. Like a lot of the joy gets taken out of the game when you can't do anything. You know, like it's just. I know get good. Like I've gotten sniper nests too, and I think they're overpowered when I use them. If I'm looking at my kill feed and the sniper's nest is literally like gives me like 10 kills,
It
I'm like
shouldn't.
10 kills is too much for one kill streak. You know,
Yeah.
especially because it's not that hard. You got to get like 9 kills or something for a sniper's nest. Like
Yeah.
that's not nearly enough for like what you get from the kill streak. You know, that's
Yeah.
like almost a tactical nuke level fucking thing.
But I have it overall as a B tier game.
I
just
enjoy
because-
it. I actually enjoy it.
I do really enjoy the game, and I enjoy like the gameplay, like the approach they took to the gameplay of this game. And I think overall, it's a Call of Duty that's worth playing. So we'll move on to the A tier. We just discussed your A tier in being Black Ops 4. I have World at War
Yeah,
in my
you're
A
fucking
tier.
wrong, dude.
It's an A tier.
It's got to be S
It's
tier.
A
at least.
tier.
I need you to move it right now, please.
I'm not. It's an image.
Um,
I'm already saved. It's already saved. It's set in stone.
Say
It's
it right
permanent.
now. In
It's
this episode.
concrete.
Yeah, okay, you can say that, but I'm gonna tell you that you need to admit to me right now that you're wrong.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you right fucking now. Black Ops is better than World at War.
See, now you're just lying. I don't really know why or what it does for you.
The truth hurts, my friend.
World at War. I was so close to being double S tier, but the two games in double S are just that good.
Yes.
This game is fucking like rocks cocks, dude. Like it's so
World at
fucking
War.
good. The campaign incredible, so unique. You're getting 2 different ones with the Russians, and then you're also getting the side with the Americans, like doing so many unique things. So the campaign's awesome. You can still replay it to this day. It's fun as fuck, and you feel like a real American, like Marine, and you feel like you feel fucking like a badass Russian. Like there's that level where you're like in dead bodies, and then it just transitions into a sniper thing. Like really memorable moments.
I think it's easily the grittiest COD game.
It's fucking awesome. And then campaign, man.
Yes.
Maps are super just dope, super awesome. There's so many different weapons that like the M1 Garand I loved using. I loved using the MP44. The snipers were awesome. The maps were just so wide open, but not in a way that was like you couldn't find anybody. Like they were just so like, and tanks weren't overpowered, but they were like really cool to use. Like that trench map. Oh man, I behind Call of Duty 4, I have not played more time inside of a game than I have at World at War, and it was just so good. It got back to the roots of Call of Duty, which of course was like World War II, and it just did it so well.
Yeah, so what I appreciate the most about this game is just how bare bones of a Call of Duty game. It's like it takes the elements of what makes this franchise fun and playable, and has been fun and playable for its entire lifespan, and it kind of just like it leans into them super hard, and it's just it's a really gritty, fun, like, and just gross and gory, disgusting game, and it's everything you like to see out of a COD game, and it deserves to be an A tier. Right below Black Ops War.
What makes it not S tier? Like, you gotta say something because you haven't said.
I'm
anything.
taking sentimentality, like I'm incorporating sentimentality into this and how I personally feel about the game and what the game like meant to me as my journey as an epic Call of Duty gamer.
Yeah, but you're wrong. So like you gotta like say something about it.
I'm just telling you. This is my justification.
That's not much. It's pretty.
All
weak.
right, so I talked about my S tier, my correct S tier placing in Call of Duty Black Ops already.
I have Modern Warfare 2 in my S tier versus
That's
SS
fine.
tier. It's
That's
just we'll talk about our top tier games now, I guess, and so I can kind of bleed into it.
So we'll talk about Modern Warfare 2.
Right. So I logged in 24 hours of actual online game play for Modern Warfare 4. 24 hours of in matches, which are 10
COD 4?
of COD 4, which
Yeah.
are 10 minutes long. So I don't know what the math behind that. That's a lot of time. I've never played a game more than
Don't
that.
you mean like 24 days?
Right.
Wouldn't that be more?
I think it was 24 days.
Yeah.
It was I logged in like an unbelievable amount of time on this game. Like, who knows like how much time I've lost in my life. Like, I could have been probably like a billionaire scientist by now if I'd used that time to do something useful.
Could have cured cancer.
I
you
do
bastard.
not. I do not care. Like, I love this game so much. The kill streaks are powerful but not overpowered.
We're
There's
talking about Modern Warfare.
Modern Warfare 4. Yeah,
Are we talking about COD 4? Or are we talking
COD
about Modern
4.
Warfare 2?
COD 4.
Okay.
That's in my double S tier.
Okay,
because
that's in
it's
my
gonna
double
bleed
S.
into my Modern Warfare 2.
Okay.
So, I think it's probably my favorite game of all time. It's just I still play the remastered version so much. It's just so good to pick up. It's such a casual game just to pick up and do like 10-minute matches. They're always fun. Weapons are just awesome. Like the
Super reliable.
P90,
I love
super
it.
awesome. The M4, great. M16, awesome. The G36C, amazing. The M4 great sniper rifle. It all just works
Incredible.
perfectly. There's
Incredible.
so much diversity in the game that has not been seen in any other Call of Duty game since maybe Black Ops 2. But in this game, I really felt like if you run out of ammo and you pick up someone else's weapon, you can probably
keep your streak going.
Exactly, which makes it so like just great. And so when Modern Warfare 2 came out, I guess I had so much expectations, and it was good. Just it complicated the formula just a little bit for me.
Well, let me get my thoughts in on COD 4 real quick. And that like COD 4 to me was like, it's like two pronged in a sense, because I like my first experience with the game is like when I first became friends with you and Jimmy, and that's like the first time
me and Jimmy played COD 4 a lot.
Exactly, that's the first time I ever played COD 4, and it was kind of like it's kind of like weaved into like, you know, me building friendships with the two of you, and I'll always appreciate it for that. And then coming around the second time with COD 4 Remastered was the first time I really got like down and dirty into this game.
Yeah, COD 4 is the first game I ever got for my Xbox. That's how long I played it.
So then like when Infinite Warfare comes out and then I get the remastered, and I'm just like, wow, this is maybe the greatest game I've ever played in my entire life.
So great.
I just fell in love with the game.
The story mode as well. We haven't even talked about that. Oh man,
it's bananas.
The Gilly, I have my
Gilly
Skype.
in the Mist.
Yes, my Skype name is still Gilly in the Mist to this day, and that's like a challenge you complete in that level. It's just so awesome.
It's just and like it for a game to be able to give me like two separate like experiences just in its existence and its lifespan, I think it deserves double S tier just because it's a perfect game. I think it comes as close to it being a perfect game as any game can be. So now we can talk about Modern Warfare 2.
I just had first I want to say like the things I love about the game. Map design I think is just absolutely brilliant. The airport level is just
Terminal is
one
of the greatest Call of Duty maps.
Awesome, and I hope the new Modern Warfare game incorporates like all the greatest maps from these games.
Oh, if Rust isn't in this new Modern Warfare, I'm not buying it.
Yeah, I hope Shipment's in Modern Warfare as well. It's just it kind of complicated the formula a little bit. Like Killstreak's got a little crazy in this one, which kind of could hurt it. I think it just did it made a little too much of it. It was kind of like too much of the gameplay. But again, I play this game a lot, and I think it's really great. It does belong at least in S tier. So
I took Modern Warfare 2 for what it was, and not what I may have wanted it to be or what other people may have wanted it to be. I just embraced the chaos because before COD 4, I played this game. This was my first Call of Duty game.
Yeah.
I met Jimmy, and this was the game that was out, and I bought it immediately, and then we started playing, and I fell in love with it, and this is like in the runner for like my favorite game of all time.
Yeah.
The campaign I think the campaign's
it's great. Yeah.
It's a fucking. This is what the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Warfare 2 campaign is. What would happen if you injected Monster Energy drink directly into your veins?
Yeah, it's awesome. And then the snow level.
The very first, like one of the first snow levels.
Good, yeah.
It was incredible, man.
The set pieces were awesome. The snowmobiles, like just riding, it's just it almost feels like a Bond movie, but like it feels like a self-contained story that's not over the top. It's just like badass.
It just melds a combination of so many things that I like, not only in fiction, but like I was talking about, like it's what I hated about Modern Warfare 3 was that like there was no color in it or anything like that.
Yeah.
This is I always often refer to this is the first Modern Warfare 2 is the first Call of Duty game that was completely done in color.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful game,
yeah,
especially
awesome.
For 2009. It was such a beautiful looking game. It was the most realistic game that I had ever played to that point, and it's just incredible. Like it's the only campaign that I've played multiple times. Like not the only one, but like I feel like a lot of games on this list have campaigns that you can play multiple times over, and that we have. I've played the Modern Warfare 2 campaign more than anything else.
Yeah, you can drop into any mission and just enjoy it. And I love the heartbeat sensor too. I hope they bring that back. I really love that attachment on my weapon.
The multiplayer was just
I like that. What I did like about the multiplayer is that there was like your weapons were a little more customizable. It wasn't like in Modern Warfare 4, obviously you're like done to one, which is I guess meant to kind of balance it out. But it is nice to have multiple, like a red dot and a silencer.
The bling, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. That's another thing I like about Black Ops 4. Like weapon customization is awesome, and I do like the
diversity of your classes. I think what it introduced is like huge diversity in class selection.
Because in Call of Duty 4 is pretty straightforward. Like you had to have bandolier, stopping power, and like whatever.
Pretty much, it's pretty much like stock. And but like this, I think what Modern Warfare 2 did was like introduce like classes and perks to match certain play styles.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to
it was really good.
If you wanted to be a literal Gilly in the Mist, you could have been.
Exactly. Yeah.
And there's so much about this game that I love so much, and it means so much to me personally, just as a person, and like being attached to like my growth as a human being. Fuck, man, it's so wonderfully chaotic and just fucking stupid and overpowered, and I love it. Like, objectively, the game is fucked to oblivion just because of like how stupidly overpowered some shit is and how some shit isn't.
Yeah.
How you just can't play certain weapons because you'll get absolutely melted. But I loved like just going out with.
There was enough weapons though that you could use.
But yeah, there were enough weapons that were overpowered to the point where it's just like, okay, I have to use the UMP, but it's a good thing that I love the UMP. Yeah, you know. So Modern Warfare 2. It's in my top 3. It's not only in my double S tier for this list, but it's in my top 3 games like all time.
Yeah, it's
followed by motherfucking Call of Duty Black Ops 2,
a game that you can still pick up and play, and it's just so fun, dude. Many good weapons. Like, just
this game is so fucking good. I go back like just the strength of its gameplay alone. That's what we keep coming back to.
Pure.
Because
it's so pure.
Such a good. It's so like it takes all of the good stuff. I think we were just talking about with with Modern Warfare 2, like diversity in class and like what you can pick up and be effective with, and it just dials all that shit.
My classes are insanely diverse. Like, I have my pistol class, TAC 45s for life. Like, it's my
the TAC 45
my favorite weapon.
Maybe one of the greatest guns in COD.
It's my favorite weapon in Call of Duty, like personally,
because TAC 45 with the silencer.
Because I love using pistols only. Like, that's for every Call of Duty game except for COD 4 because it just didn't work. But in every game since, like, I still do it in Black Ops 4. I fucking love using pistols, and the TAC 45 is just, it melts people.
The greatest gun.
It's fucking awesome. I have gold, of course, but it's not just that. Like, there's so many like single shot weapons are awesome. There's good light machine guns and I have different sights. I use different sights for all of them because they work so differently and they work so great for different maps. Like, I have a class that I'm like, okay, I'm playing this map. Okay, I'm going to use this class, which makes it so great that there's just so much diversity and you feel like you can use your playstyle for specific maps and it just works beautifully.
I think every, like, one of the biggest highlight of this is like every sniper in this game is effective to a degree. You had the ballista, and you had the SVU, the one where you could just you put the thermal sight on it, you just spammed. It was like you could have a 20 kill game like that. You had the bolt action, the other bolt action one. Yeah, it's just dude, it's such like the weapons were incredible because you could use pretty much any weapon out of any class. The M60 LMG was incredible.
And they didn't work for everybody too. I think like we don't use the same weapon classes, but we use weapons that we think are good and they work for us. Exactly. Which is great. Like, it was just like the perfect thing. Like, every weapon isn't too overpowered, and it just, you could find the weapon that you like the best and use it, basically.
I just enjoy playing that game.
It's so fun. We still play it sometimes.
We still play that game to this day.
Because when we're like done, when we're like fed up with Black Ops 4 because of the bullshit, you know, we'll literally go and play Black Ops 4 or Black Ops 2 a lot. Yeah.
And for it to be double S tier off the strength of its gameplay alone it should say a lot because the campaign for this game is like forgettable at best.
It's okay, yeah. It's nothing.
Because I like it kind of like does it. I think it does a good job weaving in the first game, especially because it's like takes place in like 2050 or something. Right. And like it is what it is. I've played it a couple times, and it's exactly what you said. It's nothing to write home about, but yeah, like. That just, it again speaks to how strong this gameplay is. The introduction of the game modes like Hardpoint and stuff like that. Like I legitimately
game modes too.
Legitimately played this game competitively, and I thought I was pretty nasty at it. I think I was better at this COD game than any other COD game.
It changed the landscape of competitive COD.
This game is what competitive COD blew up on.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I can see it too.
Man, like I can't say enough good words about
Call of Duty
awesome.
Black Ops 2. It's just a great game. If you ever play, you got it.
I often go back and forth between Black Ops 2 and Modern Warfare 2 on what my favorite COD game of all time.
Yeah, there's a reason there's still like lots of lobbies open for this game. People just love fucking
we could hop in right now and play.
Yeah, so that's a true testament to how good the game is when there's been 2 games that have come out since it.
So yeah, this is what our tier lists are looking like for all of the Call of Duty games. This is not every single Call of Duty game, obviously, because you had a bunch of on the previous
the ones that we really just didn't really
play,
but
like we were children, like literal children.
I'm telling, like I would interweave like Call of Duty with Medal of Honor if I really like try to like sort it out through my mind because they were so similar at the time, and I played both of them, so I wouldn't really be able to like attest to it. I do remember in Call of Duty 3, I did play multiplayer once, and I killed someone with my fist, and I thought that was one of the coolest things ever because I ran out of ammo or just punched someone to death. It was great.
But yeah, this tier list is very much for like the Xbox 360, PS3 generation and on. Hopefully, we can add Modern Warfare, the upcoming Call of Duty Modern Warfare, to the S or higher tiers.
I think it's going to be great.
I'm very optimistic.
Just because I hope it combines Modern Warfare 1 and 2's maps together into the like matchmaking.
And it's not like,
and that would just be awesome.
You know, because like the past couple games, the past couple times it's been Infinity Ward.
Right.
They've had like, you know, other studios in like with their hands on it.
Yeah.
I think it's just Infinity Ward this time. I think we're getting back to basics.
Yeah.
With as far as Modern Warfare, the Modern Warfare series.
I just hope they can just mix all this shit together, dude. I think it would be awesome. Like have the UMP with the M4 and the M16 from COD 4 and just fucking throw it together. Put a great campaign in there. Captain Price is coming back, so super fucking hyped for that. And Ghost better be in that. They said there's going to be a class system too, but not like in Black Ops. So I think it's going to be like
not the pick
I think it's going to be like Ghost and Soap and stuff like that, and that is just fucking badass.
That'll be sick.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully, because you know the arena shooter, the arena first person shooter it's hit a couple, like it's taken some punches in the last few years, and just from a combination of weak releases and, you know, like Battle Royale being so prominent.
But now, Battle Royale is finally dying out, so there's going to be a new wave of whatever.
So I'm really hoping, because like games like Battalion 1944 are really popular on Twitch right now, and that's like really like getting back to the roots of what like of what an arena shooter, like
completely
arena
raw
FPS
dog
shooter.
in arena shooters. Yeah.
Exactly. So I hope that we kind of see a resurgence in this genre, and I think COD going back to Modern Warfare, I think is the perfect opportunity.
And not taking it to Modern Warfare 4 and just kind of using the same
kind of like spiritually rebooting. Yeah.
I think
not even spiritually, like it's a soft reboot of everything. We're using the same characters, but it's going to be a whole new story and a whole new experience.
And it's going to modernize, you know, because Call of Duty 4 is a little outdated if you would have played it then. So it's kind of like a new Modern Warfare, which is perfect, I think, for the time.
You know, Modern Warfare 2 was essentially supposed to take place in the year of 2019.
I think it's pretty close necessarily.
I think because COD 4 takes place in 2016.
Yeah, because
Modern Warfare
I don't
2 takes
think
place
heartbeat
in
sensors exist, but a lot of the technology I'm sure exists now.
I think it's pretty up to date.
We'd have to go back and really look at it, but yeah.
So yeah, guys, that's our tier list. Make sure you tune into Argue Culture later this week. We're gonna do a few more videos. We just finished recording our Pokemon video, which may or may not be up on the channel by the time you're watching this video. And we got some E3 talk coming up this week, so make sure you guys like and subscribe. Make sure you follow all our socials in the description. And we have
an Instagram. It's popping, so it's great.
Yes,
and also
follow the Instagram account.
It's just fun. We post little clips from the video, so you guys can get a little preview and pop into the YouTube page whenever you want.
We'll try to keep it up to date with all of the happenings that are going on,
and we have been, which is
and the
good.
Stuff that's pertinent. So thank you guys very much for watching, and as always, have a fantastic day.
Yeah, thanks, guys.